Just off the Sonoma Plaza, this place features a sunny patio, large antique bar, and a menu of country food with a French passion. Beth's ardor for her spot is shared by her husband. Together they frequent this location on West Spain in Sonoma, and it's called The Girl and the Fig.
I'm Sandra Bernstein from The Girl and the Fig. I'm actually the girl of The Girl and the Fig in Sonoma, California. The fig is actually a symbol of my passion of Sonoma, of the Rhone wines that we have on our wine list, of all the people that I get to meet and all of our staff. And it's really about passion and really embracing what we have in our area. I love the idea that the Girl and the Fig can be a meeting place where we get to see our friends and neighbors, our local merchants, our winemakers, and of course we get people that visit from all over the world.
I'm John Toolsey. I'm the executive chef at the Girl and the Fig. One of the things that I love is the farm. Our farm, it's about 2 acres, and we have between 50 and 60 different things planted at any time. And it's really our rudder through the seasons. This weekend we picked about 80 pounds of beans, 3 different types, and now they're on a multitude of plates in all different forms, and they're just amazing. We want folks to feel like, I've had Sonoma, I understand what Sonoma is, I understand the magic of it.
I definitely don't want the Girl and the Fig to be just another meal. I want it to be a memory and something that will last with someone for a really long time.
Now, Beth, you and your husband went on your first date here? Is that right?
We went on our very first date here, and not only did that make it an amazing restaurant for me, but we go back, it's probably first on my list anytime we get a chance to go out. It's just an amazing restaurant. There's the outdoor garden area, which is my favorite place to sit. You can go with a big group of people after wine tasting all day, or just an intimate dinner with your husband, and it's both. The food is never disappointing. The food is always amazing. They have a cheese plate that is wonderful that they pair with their wines. They have a daily plate that they can do the appetizer, entree, and desserts.
Right.
But I always have to try a little of everything every time I'm there.
And do you have a favorite thing that you get every time?
I do. I always have to get the steamed mussels. I should say we, because we always have to split them. And they're pastis lavender with leeks, and I have tried to have steamed mussels at other places, and I still have not found another place that even comes close.
Home. All right, I see. What's going on there, Brian?
Okay.
I don't see you flailing your arms.
Well,
I mean,
there will be.
yeah,
now is when the gesticulation happens.
I'm going to hang out the wine while that happens.
It's funny because I thought the setting was beautiful, but I do have to take issue with the mussels and the fries. I'd read a lot about them. And I'm assuming it's just an off night, but when the fries arrived, they were matchstick.
The frites.
Right. But it looked as though I clearly, made someone in the kitchen angry, because it looks like they just took the fries and kind of whacked them around. So they arrived, they looked like crumpled up kind of chips.
Oh, really?
And I went to kind of find one that was a good size, and I couldn't. I went to stick my fork in, and I sent French fry bits everywhere all over the table, and they were just, unbelievably
too tiny to match.
I don't know if they all broke off, but yeah, you couldn't dip them in the tarragon aioli.
Was it the flavor, or just the size of the fry?
The size was infuriating. It was like it was a sense of personal aggravation came over me.
Size does matter, I can see.
And the mussels, for instance, there was a few mussels that didn't open, and I didn't even bother. I was too busy just looking at these fries, looking around trying to see, was I the only one? Was it trying to make eye contact with someone who's like...
Did you have the fries, Gary?
I didn't have the fries, but everything we had was just absolutely fantastic. I had the wild flounder. I thought that was probably the best I've ever eaten. But the topping did it, and that was a lemon, caper, browned butter over the top, and it was just absolutely delicious.
Because they're known for their, their Rhone style, mostly California, but some classic like Domaine Tempier, some classic Provençal wines. But
unfortunately, I didn't have any wine. I was driving about an hour and a half from my home, and of course, their wine list is spectacular.
Right. And what else did you have?
We had the fig and arugula salad with pancetta. That was large enough for the two of us to split. And we had one of the cheese offerings that had 3 different cheeses, caper berries, olives, salami, and copa.
And what
Delicious.
about you, Brian? So mussels a no-go.
Right. Yeah.
Frites, you were about ready to light fire to the frites.
Yeah, I was ready to upend the table, and you know.
Okay,
but
so
the charcuterie plate was excellent.
Okay.
The smoked trout salad is actually really, really good. That was one of my favorite things. I had the flounder as well, but I found it to be a little too salty.
Really?
And there were capers kind of peppered all throughout the plate, which you also had to be conscious of because that would just add to the salt. Yeah. But I thought that the food itself is really well prepared, aside from the seasoning. That was beautifully cooked and it was well presented. The staff is really good, but every now and again a dish would be a little too salty for me. Yeah.
They just want you just need a little more.
They want to push the wine.
What about any dessert that you had, Beth? That's a
well,
favorite,
I have to say that anytime I get dessert, I have to have the lavender creme brulee. It's just amazing. It's got the lavender crust, and it's cooked perfectly with a mint leaf that looks so delicious. You just want to cut it up and add it into there. And then the waitress had suggested a wonderful tawny port, which was actually less expensive than the one I was planning on getting, and was amazing.
With that, always an excellent choice there.
It was, and the chocolate caramel salted torte is what my husband had, and the flavors are just incredible with the gray sea salt on top. You just put a fork in it and the caramel oozes out. And with
all right, it's your spot. Obviously, you can go on and on about dessert. But so tell people, besides dessert, why they need to go back to Girl
They
in the
need to
Fig.
go back because it's a great place for locals. You won't be unimpressed with the food unless you don't particularly like frites.
Okay, Brian?
I have unfinished business with the restaurant. I mean, it is a bit of a trek from San Francisco. The burger looked fantastic. I'd try that again. And I'd like to see if the fries, if that was just a one-off. And so that would be the deciding factor for me.
All right. And Gary?
I had probably one of the best days I've had in a long time driving to Sonoma. Hadn't done that for quite a while. Great place. I'll definitely go back.
All right. If you would like to try the Girl in the Fig, it's on West Spain, just off the square in Sonoma. The telephone number is 707-938-3634. It's open every day for lunch and dinner. Reservations are recommended, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $45.